Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of AlbuCrazy. I'm your host, Tito Dameron,
and Gora. How are you doing this week, Tito?
I've had a pretty good week. Although today I started going slightly insane at work. My boss has decided that I can't listen to podcasts or anything while I work, so he hopes that that's going to make me more efficient and like get more focused on my job, which is finishing furniture. But I can listen to music, but I'm all musiced out, and so I'm like losing focus. And so I was really struggling to just focus on putting some finish on a bloody table. And I started my mind started drifting. So I thought, okay, you know about different sound waves like white noise and pink noise and brown noise and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all like are differently tuned to like help you sleep or to help you like study better and focus and stuff. So I put on white noise, and I put it on really loud because I was feeling very like agitated because I couldn't focus on anything. And so it was a very loud white noise, and I just started making sounds to go along with it, like car horns and everything. I'm not going to do it in the microphone because it'd be really annoying. But I want you to understand that I made these noises for like an hour and a half with like the white noise literally blaring through my speaker, just trying to focus. And I started morphing. I started doing like characters and voices and all this stuff. And I just go back like making weird noise. And I suddenly realized this. I'm tapping into like how it would be if I started to become insane. And then my boss walked in on me while I was making, not while I was like doing a character voice. Because it'd be like, oh, that's just Tito being Tito. But it was where I was just like making like a siren call for like 5 minutes. So that was extremely weird and awkward.
Oh, yeah. Making it seems like actually the whole world right now is like trying to make noise over a whole bunch of white sound. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole there's like a larger societal kind of
you're not using specifics, but I know what you're getting at. I'm picking up what you're putting down or whatever like saying you want to use for that. So that was my week and my day in a nutshell, and I'm feeling a little bit better because I got out of there. Yeah, how was your week?
It was good. Leela got her staples out, so she's, show dog ready. Show dog for mud, I guess. I don't know. I'm slowly eroding my relationship with Isaac by making him constantly... boyfriend? Constantly take pictures with her.
Just like, because you just want to like update all of the pictures that you already have. Like now in all the pictures, she has no eyes.
The eye that she had, I want to erase any memory of that. I'm making us recreate all of the photos that we had previously had down to the clothing that we were wearing when we adopted her. And
the dog hairstyles of the time.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay, yeah. So that's like the quick update from us. So we're gonna just drop my notebook. I'm a professional. We're gonna move in and introduce you, listeners,
to our awesome guests. Yes, awesome guests. We got 2 this week.
Yeah,
we got double the fun. Our first twofer. At first we said, can we handle 2 people at once?
I said, I've already done that.
I'm an amateur to recording with 2 people at once. Please be gentle on me, kind people.
So just go ahead, introduce yourselves. Just tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Becky, or Cinderblock, and I play roller derby for Albuquerque Roller Derby.
Cinderblock.
Yes.
That is a great name.
Thank you.
How'd you come up with it?
When I started playing roller derby, our original teams were Big House Brawlers, which is a prison-style theme team, and Dead Man's Curve, which were like Grease Monkey style. So I just kind of picked a prison-style name.
It sounds effective.
It's effective in roller derby, and if you ever get locked up.
Yeah.
And our other guest?
And my name is Matt, and I'm an announcer with Albuquerque Roller Derby.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
How'd you get started in that?
I was lucky enough. I went to one of the first bouts they had, fell in love with it. My wife was fascinated with playing, and I figured I could either go find another hobby or I could join her. And I joined in like any supportive partner of a roller derby player.
That's great, and it doesn't hurt that he has like an amazing voice, right?
Why, thank you.
He has a voice that you can imagine listening to and getting good information from.
Right, like you have like the voice that you could imagine in the background of like a commercial.
Could you pipe it in over white noise and help your workday?
We're gonna end up blaring his voice, just telling you, keep finishing.
Keep focused.
Finish that table, Tito. Finish that table.
God, it's going to drive me crazy. So I believe the bout that you went to is also the very first roller derby bout that I went to.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And it was awesome. I had no clue what roller derby was. I had like a faint inkling, like it's roller skates and you're going in a circle and there's an object and there's a winner and loser, like any sports. But that was all I really knew. But it was so ridiculously fun because I just never seen anything like it. So I guess I'm going to assume that there's listeners out there that are like me, sans having been to an actual roller derby thing. So if you can just kind of like explain roller derby for the people.
Okay. Roller derby is basically a full contact race on skates. There's 2 teams on the track, and each team has somebody that scores points, and your goal is to get them through the pack, which is the other players that'll be on the track at the time. And you score points by going around the track and lapping the opposing players.
So both teams are like moving at the same time. It's not like
Yes.
they just like stand and make a wall and you circle once and you smash into them.
Yeah. So everybody's moving at once. The jammers are trying to go around and around.
And how long have you been doing roller derby?
Since 2004.
Okay, so yeah, I mean it's been around for quite a while. I remember when I joined into burlesque that was another big female scene.
Yes. And some of our earlier skaters were burlesque dancers.
Because some of those girls were built, and they were really good at that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and so there was like kind of co-communities going.
I think we had co-events at one point in time where we did like full contact musical chairs, and then there was...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Can we bring that back, please?
That sounds
amazing.
fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Derby's really, really safe now, so full contact musical chairs is not... I mean, I'm sure you could get some people to play it. I probably wouldn't now, but it was fun at the time.
In your old age.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the distinction I'd make, too, is I remember growing up watching, like, ESPN2, and you'd see the old Texas, the fishnets and the girls. I mean, it was WWE with women and skates, and it's come away from that a lot. So you don't have... The skaters are very, very well trained. They're very athletic.
Yeah.
It's full contact, but it's not... It's very much not WWE. There's no elbows.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you guys do practice, right? You guys don't just show up and... I mean, so these girls are trained to do this.
Yeah, some of us train more than others, but there is...
That was a very smooth dig.
There's 3 practices available a week. 2 are mandatory, and then it's also mandatory to do 1 cross-training thing a week. So...
And even the practices, I mean, they're practicing on concrete, outdoors here for now. So, I mean, if it's 95 degrees out there, it's sweating it up. If it's 40 degrees out there, they're out there. So, nobody's going to walk in on the street and be an all-star. You can walk in on the street, but you got to put your work in.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had any roller derby grudges? Any famous ones? Or is it just like one of those... Yeah, there's little grudges all around town, or...
Well, within the league back in the day, there used to be fighting. Fighting was allowed. It was in the rules.
What do you mean by fighting?
Like, you could pull somebody down and go at them, punching them, and the refs would come and separate you.
Wow.
So, back in 2004, 5, and probably all the way up till 6, the teams hated each other. They were all in the same league, but we hated each other, and there were skaters that didn't like to even want to look at each other.
Dang.
And so I was probably one of the worst ones for starting fights. And so a lot of people didn't like me. But it was fun. And then it progressed into, well, these people don't want to fight. So then we have a list of skaters that will fight. And then it turned into, well, we'll just get rid of the list because nobody's going to fight.
Okay, so like it just slowly like got eroded and changed.
And so now, like, if people have grudges, they just kind of, you know, write subversive things on Facebook or whatever, or you know, just do they keep it to the internet now?
We do have like a grievance committee.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like the league now has like a board of directors, and so there's a finance person, and then we have our team captain, and we have a coach, and so.
I was gonna say, like, do you think that's a better system than just beating them up in the middle?
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I got to experience it, but now it's a lot better now.
Yeah, you're like it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, has anybody ever just fought in the street afterwards? Like, just took it outside?
Me.
Okay, so you have to like, you've been around for a bit. You've been instigating a lot of fights. Like, what's one of like the, I don't know if would use the word proudest moments in your fighting career, but yeah, let's go with that. Like,
At this point,
intense?
this has turned into a fight conversation. I love it.
I guess we'll go to the big one that was like a big one for all of roller derby for about a year. It was the championship of, I believe, like 2006. And like I said, the teams kind of hated each other because we were allowed to be pretty ruthless to each other. And so after the game, we all go to the same bar for an after party. And in the bathroom, one of the other teammates said something to one of our teammates. And she came back and told us right away. She's like, so-and-so said this to me. And we were like, no. And so there was 3 of us that went after this one person all individually throughout the bar. So she didn't know she had it coming. And then one person went after her with a stool. And
Wait, what?
And then I jumped up out of my booth and I like ran off the table, and she was running out the door, so I ran out the door after her, and somebody grabbed me, and out in the street she got jumped by another girl.
Damn.
See, and that's roller derby right there. There was a strategy there. One
Yeah.
blocker got
Teamwork.
knocked out, so the other team member jumped in. And
Wow, you had like one waiting like outside in the wings.
yeah, I mean, if they blew through, then the third one got. Yeah, that's in a gist right there.
Roller derby everywhere.
Yeah.
And that
Arguably
turned
more
into-
entertaining than improv everywhere.
And that turned into like the person who got jumped actually pressed charges against me, but I never actually punched her. So we had a big old league meeting, and we decided that she would drop the charges and I would do league community service.
What is league community service? I don't know. Well, you never did it?
I never did
You're
it.
like,
Oh, you got away scot-free.
so that's like that's just like one of those informal judgments that never goes anywhere.
Yeah, like everybody looked at me bad for like that whole meeting, and then nobody thought about it ever again.
Can we put that in an idea notebook to have like roller derby people's court? Where these grievances are aired in front of a judge and jury, and the punishment is doled out.
That would be a really funny TV show.
Twist on that idea, like everybody's in roller skates and it's happening like on the rink. So like the judge is always just like skating backwards with the gavel, ready to pound it.
Right, or you could at the punishments right there, so it's like 1 skater versus 5 from the other team.
Oh,
And
you
you go until you can clear and see how long they survive. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that
$1 million
would,
idea.
Yeah, it would just oof.
So I remember after going to that first show, was it in September or something like that? September,
Sounds
October?
right. Do you remember what the bout was?
Yeah, it sounds September and then October, I think.
Yeah, at some point that I like that's not really important to the question, but it's just we're going and there. It seems like it is like it's a female sport, but there are like co-ed teams. There are male teams. What's
Wow,
up with that?
really?
Our league is co-ed, so the dudes are welcome to come skate with us at any time. We don't have a bunch of dudes, but they're there.
Because most of them
Yeah.
are wusses. The ones who don't show up.
Ah, okay,
That's one.
right. Is that an unusual thing to have like a co-ed league?
No.
Okay.
A lot of the bigger leagues in the country are going to co-ed, and they also have a men's team.
I think
and there's
that's
like a
pretty
men's
cool.
roller derby championship. They're right there with the women, but women still have women kind of created the sport into what it is now.
Yeah,
so
so-
they kind of take the spotlight.
Still the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you tried anything besides announcing, Matt?
A bit. Yeah, I'm learning to officiate, but the question I know you want to know, yes, I do have skates and pads. I am not what is considered contact ready yet because I am doing enough damage on my skates by myself. But I have been lucky enough to be a test dummy in a couple situations where, all right, rookie, see what you can do. And I'm not going to lie, kind of the bug bit.
Nice.
It's fun. Like your adrenaline kicks up and so forth.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about just this. I mean, you're going up at 4 other human beings, and it's like, can you power through them? Can you push them out of the way? Can you move around them? It's invigorating.
Yeah, and then add like a big crowd. Half of them are drunk, and they're all like yelling and cheering.
Right.
It's pretty great.
Which is pretty much any Albuquerque event at this point. So
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I have to say that roller derby regularly gets great crowds.
We've been doing pretty good for the couple of bouts that we've had. There's been roller derby in Albuquerque for at least 15 years, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I think we've been doing a really good job to get it more out there.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying, just because back, it used to be a little bit harder. And really, people do this for the love of it. They don't do it for financial gain. You guys really just do it for the love of it, right?
Yeah, and once you get to a certain point in your skating, you want to go to champs. You want to go to divisionals. You want to play. There's a ranking system. It's D1, 2, and 3. You want to be a D1 team, and playing at home is really, really fun, and that's the way that we get a lot of skaters. But once you've been skating for a long time, you're like, I want to go to champs. I want an all-star team.
So have you guys been traveling?
Yeah, we travel. We traveled a lot last year. We
That's
only had
awesome.
2 games at home, and I think we might have had like 5 away.
Wow.
So we went to West Texas and Colorado and Cruces, and this year we'll go to, I think, Boulder and
Durango
and Los Alamos.
How are you guys doing in the ranking, the overall thing?
I'm not sure where we're ranked, actually.
I know, but how did you do on
just
those?
want to hit somebody.
How are you doing on those games? Like, how did you do with those 5 games last year?
I don't think we won any of our away games, actually, but we did win the games that we had at home.
Okay.
So
Well, you know what? Going out there is already way better than a lot of people get. I mean, a lot of people don't even get out of town. So this is,
Yeah.
for me, that's a victory unto itself. Like, we're getting out there. We're getting scrappy.
Yeah, and there's been roller derby in Albuquerque for 15 years, but we've only been a league for 2. So we got a
Okay.
baby team.
Yeah, so it's still in like the nascent stages.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of things happening in Albuquerque right now. Like the improv is at this like budding stage. The stand-up comedy thing is going through a nice turn. I feel like I've talked past the moment for you to ask a question.
No, I was just going to ask, Beth and Matt, how long have you guys been in Albuquerque? How long have you been in Albuquerque?
I've been here since I was, I think, 6 years old, so since 92.
born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Where'd you come from?
Montana.
I would not have guessed.
I
would not have guessed.
Yeah, I mean, you look like an Albuquerque girl.
My dad is from Jemez Pueblo.
Oh,
so
cool.
Okay.
I'm from here, and my mom is Northern Cheyenne, so I'm from there.
Well, what was it like growing up in Albuquerque for you guys?
I've always liked it here. I don't know, it's a hard question to always kind of think about because whenever I talk to somebody, because 90% of the people you meet moved here.
Yeah, we moved here.
Yeah, and most of them will never admit they want to be here.
Oh, we love it here.
Oh,
Yeah.
For the rest of my life.
I do, but
I
like it's just been a very recent development. Like for a
That's
long time, I
yeah.
was like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, I mean,
And finally.
I would say probably 50% of the people I know begrudgingly moved here. And I mean, even if they're willing to admit, I like it here. It's that kind of, it comes with that preface.
I like
hated
it.
it my first 6 months, but I've really grown to love it here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Albuquerque. I always have. And that's part of why. I'm not one of those that's trapped here because of
Yeah.
like no other option. But it is. There's just, the culture, the people, and even when I say the people, it's funny. I mean, what Shia LaBeouf's got that thing over there on 6th Street.
Yeah.
And even then, we're still the ones sitting there going, "Did you hear the gunshots on it?" Not a surprise. I mean, Albuquerque's that
3 days later, it's vandalized,
and we're like, "Wow, it took 3 days."
Yeah.
But I still, despite all of that, it's still like, man, I love this place. There's just so much. I mean, where can you go and see an authentic? You look in other parts of the country, and there's Dia de los Muertos is getting to be a big thing.
Yeah, it's weird because when I didn't live here, like I had no clue about it. And I moved here, I'm like, oh, it's like a thing that's like here in New Mexico. Suddenly, it's all over the place. Like, when did this happen?
And it's a corporate thing other places. Like the parades are sponsored and stuff like that.
Like Hellman's, Best Foods.
Yeah. When you come to Albuquerque and it's like, we've been doing Muerto Parade for 80-some years. And you're like, oh, it's authentic down here.
Ooh.
And right? I like an authentic parade. But it's that thing with Albuquerque where those different parts of town, and granted we kind of silo ourselves off, but when you get out and around, there's so much going on here. And a lot of times we just don't admit it. Like you say, 15 years with roller derby, I don't meet a person every day, and I've got a roller derby poster up on my work, and people are like, well, I used to watch it on TV. Every day I meet somebody who didn't know about roller derby, but they've seen it at some point. And I'm like, that's kind of Albuquerque, like you said, improv, stand-up.
I'll meet people, and like there's a great comedy scene happening in Albuquerque. Have you seen any local comedy? No.
Yeah.
Like, it's everywhere.
I love stand-up.
Yeah.
What's the last show you went to? Oh, I saw something in Vegas 8 years ago.
Like,
Yeah,
I saw
you're
George
just like-
Lopez on Netflix. Like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, Albuquerque, and like you said, it's authentic. And there's something to be said, you even said, despite all these things that happen, at least those things are authentic.
Exactly.
It's not like we try and put lipstick on it.
Right.
It's like, well, this is kind of the way it is, but it's not that way all the time. But there are a lot of crazy things that happen here and a lot of beautiful things that happen here.
Right.
Incredible things. Like, that's one reason when I moved here, I wasn't sure about this place. Like, I love it because I love desert climate. I lived in Tucson for 3 years. But I was just, more than anything, I was surprised I didn't want to move. And then anything, like a few months later, or probably a couple of years later, I was like, I don't think I ever want to move from this place.
Right.
I just love it too much.
That was not my experience at all.
Yeah.
So when I jump in, you're like, oh, I love this desert climate. Like, I came from Florida, okay? Like, I grew up not in the middle of Florida, but like on the beach, Florida, where it's just like it's blue and it's lush and it's green and it's gorgeous. And I came here and it's like, where's all the green? Like, why on earth would you be here?
Where's water? I'm from New Hampshire.
I don't know what that
so
means.
right now, let's just say last weekend, my friends always post pictures and stuff from home. Last weekend, they got 16 inches of snow.
That's a lot.
So, I mean, the snow used to just pile on, and you'd get snow up to your legs, and you still had to go to school. So, yeah, when I saw the sun for real, like, I was like, oh my God, the sun! There's no snow here. Like, and when it does snow, it's a little bit, and it's gone by noon. I'm like, this is fantastic. Like,
I will say the one thing with so many people moving here is I get that, and snow is one of the main things that annoys me, is when you get the people who go, you want to see snow. No, I don't want to see. If I wanted to see 16 inches of snow, I would leave New Mexico. So I live here to not. They close it down when there's 2 inches of snow. That's because we have 3 salt trucks, and they don't have salt; they have sand. So just let it go, okay? Let us enjoy it the way. I don't hear people in New Hampshire talking about droughts.
Exactly. We don't need to turn this into a dick contest. How was it growing up for you, having moved here?
Oh, I loved it. Of course, I went through high school and wanted to leave, but now that I'm older, I love it. I want to stay here. I want to make it a better place. And if anybody talks shit about it, I get super defensive and be like, "Well, you could just leave." Stay here.
Wow. Oh, wait. Oh, so that's how you deal with transgressions now? You just waggle a finger and say get out of my face. Okay, good. You don't just.
You don't like the craziness, you can just go.
Don't smash them through a window.
Don't let the dust hit you in the ass on the way out.
So, blah, 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 blah. That was a weird noise. Hopefully, that'll be cut. I was just thinking because we're at like 33 minutes.
We're good.
All right, we're good. All right,
good.
cool.
What do you got going on tonight?
What I have going on tonight? I have.
You're certainly in a hurry.
Quit turning this into a like.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, quit turning this into a rush. We're at less than 30. I've been watching.
We could be your first 2-person, 2-part podcast if it had to be.
Ooh, okay, a 2-parter.
Cliffhanger for
what would be the
season 2.
cliffhanger? Like, does Cinderblock
hit me really hard and throw me through a window? It is potential, I imagine.
So, like, what else do you do when you're not announcing?
Oh, what kind of? I also want to know. What kind of relationship do you have with all of the Derby community? Like, what kind of relationship does the announcer have? Are you kind of like a cool uncle type? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
More a creepy uncle type.
or a creepy uncle
it's like
type.
you choose your level of involvement. Type
I stand in the corner and watch them all.
Oh, this is getting
Slowly.
creepy.
No.
I'm not trying to be creepy about it.
I started going down
I
this
just
road. I was
figure like
I think the
everybody
one
would
thing-
know him.
Isn't it like the one?
I figure
faux
everybody
pas?
knows you and
Like, don't-
everybody
don't
says
bring that
hi
bullshit into this
and everybody's
sport, like-
friendly. I bet it's a really good relationship that you have with the
Everybody's
Derby.
amazing. It's one of those things. I could easily be the husband of one of the gals who's training, and everybody could go, yeah, whatever. And Becky just said it. You really choose your level of involvement. For me, I have yet to meet a person in the roller derby group who I'm like, they kind of bug me. Everybody is so inviting. Everybody is so nice. They are so quick to answer any questions you have. My thing is, if I'm going to do something, and Tito can attribute to this, I tend to go from addiction to addiction socially.
Yes.
So I tend to throw myself into something wholeheartedly. So with roller derby, and I'll be honest, I'm working very hard. There's a lot of announcers who, you know what, I can crack jokes on a microphone and watch chicks go around. I find that insulting.
Yeah,
to
totally.
everybody.
I think that's a really good viewpoint. I think it is.
Right, and like I say, the work that the skaters put into it, the money that the audience puts into it, the least you need to do is respect everybody who came to the event, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and the audience.
Yeah.
And I think to properly do that, I have to put in at least the same amount of time the skaters are to learn the sport. So you can sit there and call out, so-and-so just skated past, that's a 5-point play, and here's our sponsors. Or you can really, especially in Albuquerque where people don't realize there's roller derby, let's educate the audience. Albuquerque's that kind of place. Roller derby's the kind of sport we'd get into. We don't do football, basketball, and baseball. We do MMA and boxing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
That's
This is
a very good point. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like let's show that respect to everybody involved. So I'm learning the sport. I'm learning as an official, and then there's events where, and like Becky was saying, there's a lot of events around the state. So maybe I can go help at an event in Los Alamos. Well, they already have an announcer. So how else can I help?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of opportunity, and everybody's real open and real welcome. If you're willing to help out and you're willing to be a decent person, they're going to take you right on in.
That's
I
awesome.
remember you talking about going through the training, like, because we know each other outside of this. But like, I remember being a little surprised at like how much there was to learn to be an announcer.
Oh, likewise. I definitely was also. It's funny because, like I say, I don't think announcers have to be experts in the sport, but I think you should know the sport better than the audience. And the other thing I've found is looking at the professional ethics of the roller derby announcers, because it is, even if you watch, the one thing everybody can say they know about roller derby is they all saw Whip It. Everybody saw the Ellen Page movie.
I haven't seen Whip It.
Well, you're not everybody.
I've heard it's really good. I really want to see, like, it's Ellen Page.
You do. You need to watch
Yeah.
it. It's a very enjoyable movie, but
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Fallon plays the announcer. And his entire shtick through the whole thing is he's sexually harassing everybody.
Yeah, he's super crude and like. Blah.
Yeah, I'm sure that stereotype exists in reality,
Sure.
and I'm sure it's probably pretty tiring.
Again, I think
More
it's
than
it's
exhausted.
disrespectful to the people.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
And it is funny too because roller derby is very counterculture. So there are a lot of terms within the group that are very un-PC. But I feel if you want to join, I see that look.
No,
I'm not sharing
I'm not
them.
going to do it like you set it up. I'm not going to ask because it's not going to happen probably.
But it's one of those things you can pander to the kind of the cheap joke.
Yeah.
Or you can try to be stronger with that, and you can try. And there are other announcers who have organized a community to say, let's be ethical, let's be above that, let's show respect to everybody involved, and not placate to just cheap jokes.
Well, yeah, I think that's why I feel like you're such a natural fit for the role because your background in improv like helps you. I mean, besides just being in the moment with whatever's happening on the rink, you do want to like entertain the crowd to some degree and crack jokes. But it seems like you meet a lot of people and they think they're funny, but actually what they are is they're just mean, sarcastic assholes,
Right.
or they have like a really base sense of humor. It hasn't evolved.
Well, and you and I have had a moment. I think back to it often in improv where. And for obviously nobody can see me. I'm a white middle class straight. Man.
Oh, so white,
I'm
so middle
glad I
class.
got that out.
So-
Yeah, I'm as waspy as you can get. No, but you and I had a moment one time in improv. We did, and our whole team did at that point, where we'd said something that we had a scene that could have been. We were trying to be kind of culturally relevant. We were trying to comment on something.
Yeah.
And our
Do you remember what
director-
it was, or were you being vague on purpose?
I think it was something involving rape.
Okay.
And it was, but we were trying to
yeah.
do it in a way that was using comedy to draw light to the situation. And our director pointed out, you're allowed to make that joke, but should you?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, looking at who was on that stage, not really a good idea for four guys to make a joke about rape.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't play.
Yeah, because you're sitting there like, well, but you just got a whole bunch of women going, that's not cool.
Right.
I mean,
And the thing is, like, I remember that. I remember that moment, and I remember like all of us, not just the guys, but like the whole group, like we felt proud in a way that we were able to like delve into that and like come out of it kind of unscathed and make something like that like actually funny. Like we made each other laugh, but at the end of the day,
It
like,
doesn't play that way to everybody.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, what is a moment in roller derby that you guys have had that you're like, this could have only happened in Albuquerque?
I mean, I feel like you already gave us one where like the Albuquerque
Our bar
like
fight.
trio, yeah.
The massacre of 2006.
We used to have, back in the day, we used to have a penalty wheel. So the skater that had the most penalties at halftime had to spin the penalty wheel. And the penalty things on there were like jousting or pillow fight or arm wrestling or the musical chairs was on there. And then at one point in time we had, because we were associated with the burlesque, we had a stock mistress. And so one of the things, a stock mistress, so we had stocks where you had to put your head and your arms in.
Oh shoot! Okay.
And then she would lock you in there and spank you.
See, weirdly, like I find that to be like entertaining, but the pillow fight I find to be like
It's more like
overplayed
people
and
put their
lame.
fists inside the pillow.
And really just go at it.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Matt?
You know, I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of experience with big bouts. I mostly have with practice at this point because I am pretty new to the group. To me, it just comes down to, because Albuquerque's the biggest small town you're ever going to find.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those. There's kind of a running joke that whenever we have an orientation or a newbie practice, when people come in, you won't talk to, like, you'll walk into a room and you'll walk out and you have 30 new Facebook friends.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
everybody's just like, they were there. And it's that moment where you kind of add somebody and you're like, hey, they were here for roller derby. Hey, you're married to my cousin or something like that. Like just that connection where it's like, I have no idea how I've never met you, but we have 30 common Facebook friends and you've dated half my family. And now we met each other from roller derby. So it's that kind of Albuquerque. We all know each other somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that people always say, this place is too small when they're mad. Or, it's nice and small when they're happy. What does Albuquerque mean to you?
It's home, like really home though, like deep down in my blood and my bones home. Like this is the place of my people. This area, this land that we're in, the whole region it's important to me. It's rich in culture.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I guess the culture was where I was kind of going with that. Cultural and diversity. I mean, you kind of have to go out of your way to stick with people who are like you only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's very much if you're going to leave your house and actually like try to
Exist.
be anywhere. Exactly. Then you're going to run into people who are not like you. And I love that. I love meeting people with different experiences, different backgrounds, different thoughts.
That reminds me of a thing my mother told me before I moved out here, which was like Tito, if you would like to travel and like leave the country without actually leaving the country, like the best you can do is go to New Mexico because it's so culturally different from anywhere else, and it's great.
I thought she meant that because nobody thinks we're part of the country.
Oh, she also she probably meant that as well. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to close this up. Do you guys have anything coming up that you would like to promote?
April 15th.
Albuquerque Roller Derby is having their first this season opener bout April 15th at the Expo, New Mexico.
Excellent.
Now, where's the Expo, New Mexico? Is that
The fairgrounds.
The fairgrounds.
The
Okay, well,
fairgrounds.
that's where I went last time. It's a great spot.
What about you?
You said April 15th, and I got like flip. Okay, February, March, April. Okay.
Yep, a couple of months there.
Like a month and a half away.
Yep. Feel free to check out abqrd.com or on Facebook, Albuquerque Roller Derby. We're always looking for volunteers, skaters, and again, it's co-ed, so I know a lot of people are like, oh, let's tell my sister. Why don't you come out?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're
Challenge.
curious, if you want to give it a look, come see a practice. If you decide, you know what, skating's not for me, but I really want to help out this group, we're always doing stuff around the community. We're always trying to outreach. We're doing a lot of stuff with charities. So if you're curious, sate that curiosity. If it's not for you, then you know at least you tried.
Yeah.
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 You want to plug anything?
Well, there's the Spit You Bit open mic at Bosey Brothers, 6th and Gold, which is Sheila Buff is at like 7th and Gold. So like we're right next to that thing that's happening.
Nice.
With good old Shia. Yeah, every single Sunday at 7:00. Also, there's an album called Saint Vincent by the artist Saint Vincent. It's a perfect, weird, angular, abstract pop album. Maybe the best album that came out last year. Certainly my favorite album of all time.
Oh, wow. Of all time?
Yep.
Forever and
It's
ever.
maybe the best one that came out last year, but my favorite album of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't have anything that I do on the reg. Just my stand-up dates. You can find them on @Gora on Twitter. And, you know, what I always say is my podcast sucks, but what doesn't suck, you say, is The Best Show with Tom Sharpling. Go to www.thebestshow.net and listen to his weekly show on Tuesdays. So, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hey, guys, thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so much for coming.
and doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, like learning a bit more about roller derby. It sounds like a fucking awesome thing. The one bout that I saw was way more exhilarating than I was expecting. Like, I highly recommend going to check it out live. It's a cool thing. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
guys.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of AlbuCrazy. I'm your host, Tito Dameron,
And Gora. How are you doing this week, Tito?
I've had a pretty good week. Although today I started going slightly insane at work. My boss has decided that I can't listen to podcasts or anything while I work, so he hopes that that's going to make me more efficient and like get more focused on my job, which is finishing furniture. But I can listen to music, but I'm all musiced out, and so I'm like losing focus. And so I was really struggling to just focus on putting some finish on a bloody table. And I started like my mind started drifting. So I thought, okay, you know about different sound